There have been a long list of action stars over the years who gained notoriety before quickly fading away, but Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger have remained popular, unlike the majority of their contemporaries. It's even more astonishing that Stallone and Schwarzenegger are still popular, considering that they were both renowned for having enormous bodies. After all, both men are now in their 70s, and at that age, most people aren't exactly in the best of physical shape. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone have frequently been contrasted since they rose to fame. That makes perfect sense, of course, as Stallone and Schwarzenegger had a lot of admirers in common, making it only reasonable for them to compare who was the bigger star. Having said that, one of the simplest methods to determine whether Stallone or Schwarzenegger have been more successful is to consider their respective net worth. Fans frequently rank everything, including their favourite film actors, since the internet became a major force in the world. However, you could suppose that the biggest movie stars don't care about comparisons, given how successful they are. That's definitely not the case when it comes to Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger, because they've been fierce rivals for such a long time. Sylvester Stallone has previously said that he and Arnold Schwarzenegger formerly held a deep-seated hatred towards one another, that even their DNA despised each other. In fact, Stallone's desire to surpass Schwarzenegger at one point led to Sly being duped in appearing in one of the worst films ever by Arnold. After reading the movie's script, "Stop or my mum will shoot," Schwarzenegger said it was a piece of crap. Stallone was given the part after Arnold declined it, and he immediately called Schwarzenegger to inquire about it. Schwarzenegger revealed to Stallone that he was considering playing the lead in the movie in the act of the wicked brilliance. Stallone then gave his agent the order to play the part, something he would later come to regret. That rage eventually subsided, but Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger persisted in their obsession with outdoing one another. For instance, Stallone stated in a 2013 David Letterman interview, "After some time, I grew to enjoy the rivalry and one-upmanship. He'd get a bigger gun, I would kill more people, he'd continue to shoot people." Today, Stallone and Schwarzenegger are good friends who spend a lot of time together. They still like needling one another, so it doesn't mean that they aren't any longer in a competition with one another. Sylvester Stallone authored the Rocky script early in his career. After peddling the script around Hollywood, Stallone was given a sizable sum of money, but he declined the enormous check. Instead, Stallone accepted much less cash to have the film created in which he played the lead. Everyone knows that Rocky made himself a cinematic star. Stallone would later be grateful that he staked on himself. Since Sylvester Stallone initially rose to fame, he has acted in a number of films that have stood the test of time. Stallone is particularly well known for his roles in the Rocky and Rambo films. In addition to the numerous blockbusters he has starred in, Sylvester Stallone has a long history of writing and directing films. Given all of that effort, it makes sense that Stallone is worth $400 million, according to CelebrityNetWorth.com. Let's explore how he made that much money. Stallone just had 3 days to complete the screenplay for Rocky, and numerous studios were interested in his idea. United Artists was the frontrunner, but they insisted on making it a James Caan or Robert Redford style vehicle. He applied constant pressure on the movie's producers, Irwin Winkler and Robert Chartoff, to give him the role. He agreed to work on the movie for a cut rate salary of $23,000. The current equivalent is roughly $110,000. On a $1 million budget, the movie ended up making $225 million. He received $3.5 million for First Blood in 1982. He made $10 million the following year, which is the equivalent to $25 million now due to inflation. For Rhinestone in 1984, he received a $4 million revenue and his second producer credit. He received $12 million the next year and another producer credit for Rocky IV. His additional $12 million from Over the Top was earned. He received $16 million for Rambo 3, and Sylvester made $15 million or $16 million from other several movies scattered throughout the years. Sylvester has lived in an extravagant estate in Beverly Park, a posh gated neighborhood at the top of Beverly Hills, as his primary residence for the last few decades. His 3.5-acre property has a 20,000 square foot house on it. Eddie Murphy, Mark Wahlberg, and Denzel Washington all live nearby. Recent sales of comparable residents ranged from $40 to $70 million. It was revealed in January of 2021 that Sylvester was asking an astounding $130 million for this house. He reduced the asking price to $85 million in August 2021. In total, he currently stands at around $400 million. Arnold Schwarzenegger is still best known for his role as the Terminator. Along with that series, Arnold also starred in a number of iconic films like Commando, Predator, Total Recall, and True Lies, to name a few. Schwarzenegger was such a successful box office draw that Hollywood's elite were prepared to pay him a fortune just to appear in their movies. Arnold Schwarzenegger presided over California as governor from 2003 to 2011. Sadly, there's a lengthy history of dishonest politicians enriching themselves. However, there is no such proof that Schwarzenegger ever did something similar. When you combine that with the fact that Arnold stopped signing large-scale movie production deals when he was in office, it's apparent that his net worth decreased during those years. But despite this, CelebrityNetWorth.com estimates that Arnold Schwarzenegger is worth $450 million. It's amazing to think that means Stallone and Schwarzenegger are almost equally valuable. Even while it may be unlikely, it still seems appropriate. Arnold currently owns a sizable real estate portfolio, mostly comprised of his commercial properties in Southern California. The portfolio, which includes his own residences, is worth more than $100 million. His first Mr. Olympia title, which he would go on to win several more times over his career, was given to him in 1970. Arnold received his first significant break in the movie industry after winning Mr. Olympia when he was chosen to play Hercules in New York. After the bodybuilding documentary Pumping Iron was released in 1977, Arnold's prominence grew even further. And even though he appeared in films like Conan the Barbarian, his career didn't really take off until he was chosen to play the Terminator in the 1984 blockbuster. For his efforts on the Terminator, which went to gross $80 million worldwide, he was paid $75,000. After Terminator, Arnold's career took off in a big way. Alright, well thank you very much for joining us. This was all for today. Both of these stars came from nothing and made millions, but which one is your favourite? Tell us in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.